Right, welcome to the channel, guys. Today, another rig build again. Two hook fluff mat. Before we get into it, everybody's got their own way of doing this. They've all got their own sizes and distances and whatever else between all the components and stuff. But this is just a quick rundown of what I personally do. Got one made here already. Again, everybody does these differently, and this isn't necessarily what I would be doing on the day. But starting from the top, you've got your swivel for your main light. Running down, you've got crimps and beads. Swivel to your hook length. A wee bit further down, you've got the same again to your hook, and then right at the bottom, you've got your lead link. So yeah, we'll make a start. Main rig body again, ASO Ultraflex, £60 in the clear. I'll cut a bit off to save mucking about with that spool. So I'll start from the bottom. So at the bottom you want your weight link. This is from Arnold hooks. I've got to say that their stuff's pretty good. I can't fault it. It's all I use for when I'm building for flatty bashing. So same knot as I always use. A few wraps round through the bottom and pull it tight. A lubrication. For anybody that's not seen any of my other build videos, you're better wetting the line before you pull it tight. It saves the line burning. There's always one there, always one through. Pull tight. There we go. Right, back on track. Snip my... So, unlike my other rig builds that I've done, why are these not cutting? This lead link doesn't need the kick out. It's just a plain one because the hooks don't need clipping down. So back up to the top, you want to snip this line at a 45-degree angle, and it makes things a lot easier for getting your stuff on. You want to start with a crimp. You'll need 4 crimps, 4 beads, 2 small swivels, and the swivel for your main line to do this build. So crimp 1, and then you need a bead. Again, this is from Everything Today. Well, just about everything today is from Arnold hooks. So this is their teardrop bead, and I'm not sure if they call it as a glass bead or what. Clear, yeah, colour clear. I'm sure they do them in a black as well. Then you want your swivel, and then you want a bead. Where these teardrop beads, can't even speak today. Teardrop beads, you want the fat end against your swivel. And then to top it off, if you don't lose it, you want your crimp, another crimp. So there's one done. So you should end up with that. You should end up with crimp, bead, swivel, bead, crimp. So slide that down the bottom just now until we get this lot on. So again, it's a crimp, a bead, a swivel, a bead, and then a crimp. There we go. So yeah, again, you end up with that if your actual crimp goes on. There we go. Sorry, this one's awfully fiddly and it's all wee parts. So I don't know how much you'll see or how much you'll not see. But it is all fiddly, so it's all fingers and thumbs. So yeah, that's the second one on. Just slide that down just now. We'll deal with that in a second. Right at the top, we want a bigger swivel. This swivel connects to your main line. 2, 3, 4, 5. This swivel's actually, again, the SS Power swivels from Limitless in a size 3. Pull through. Right, lubrication. Pull tight. This thing's awesome. Cut it. And this is the bit that everybody varies. Well, the next bit I should say. So there's your, where we are so far. You should have your weight link. Sorry, my head's all over the place, man. At the bottom, swivel at the top, and at the minute, everything's just sliding about, but you should have all your wee bits and bobs in between. So take your first lot. So that should be a crimp, bead, swivel, bead, crimp. And we will go, how long's that? We'll go about there. So what is that, a foot and a bit up from the weight link, and crimp the bottom one down. You want to use round nose pliers for these. I don't know why, but the flatter head ones damage your line underneath. I'm sure somebody will put in the comments why it's better to use the round nose over the flats, other than, or be more technical on why it's done like that. You also want to get the crimp in the middle, because if you crimp too close to this side, you risk the edge of your crimp actually burying into your line and causing a weak point, or actually cutting through your line, to be fair. So that's the first lot done. That'll not slide, will not move or slide a bit. Sorry, this video's a bit of shambles, but I hope you're getting the gist of it. So the next one, I would normally go about that distance again, but I will go about here with just how long the main body is. So slide everything down again. If I'll go again, repeat the process of I crimp the bottom and then make sure everything's all pushed together, and then crimp the top. Sure, it doesn't really make a difference if you do the top to bottom or bottom to top, but that's your main rig body. You get your swivel to your main light, come down, you have all that crimped in, down again, that's all crimped in. So you need your snood length. Today I'm using £20 ASO Classic, and what I tend to do is I just tend to cut a bit off. Everybody varies on this. A lot of people will actually measure the distance between their swivels and the length of their snoods, but for this particular video I'll just fling something together. I would be a bit more particular depending on where I was fishing and the conditions I would be fishing in. The rougher the seas, the shorter, and the thicker the line I would use. Tighten that down. Snip the end. And what I do here, this is just me personally, again, other people might, as I say, measure it exactly or whatever, but I'll just run that along with the main to just above where the weight clip is, weight link, whatever you want to call it, and snip it. So that's one done. Again, hook on this end. So these are size 4 Aberdeens. Again from, I don't know. These are perfect hooks. These are my favourite hooks for flatty bashing. It's all fingers and thumbs, so I do apologise. Ultra sharp hooks these, or I think they are anyway. Really, really good hooks. I've had a lot of fish on them. Snip my tag. What in the blue Jesus is going on with these things? There we go. So there's one done. Down to the next, and again, just pull a length off. Cut. Right. Pull it tight. Cut it. And then what I do here is I do the same, but instead of going down to the weight, I'll just go down to the next swivel and cut maybe an inch or so up from there. I find if you do that way, it just seems to stop your snoods tangling together a wee bit. I might be wrong, but in my head, it works like that. Pull tight. Done. And then that's it. As simple as that. Well, it's as simple as that when you know what you're doing. I'm not claiming that I'm an expert or anything. But yeah, again, run through, swivel to your main line, come down, and you'll have your crimps and beads to your snood. And then a wee bit further down, you'll have the same again to your weight link. But yeah, that's it. I know that that's not been the best video, and I could have probably explained it a whole lot better. But that was just a quick run through on how I do it. I do it. That's how I do it. But yeah, sorry about the havering and the waffle that's gone on. But that's your, again, basic rundown. Thanks for watching. And if you could give me a quick like and subscribe, that would be amazing. Thanks again. Catch you on the next one.